The only thing I'm guilty of is still running this show, even from jail. Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. I'm Raphael and I'm here to review part 1 of the reunion to season 4 of The Real Housewives who thought that this show sucked, had bad ratings, and was probably gonna get canceled of Salt Lake City. We start the reunion off with everyone arriving at the location of the reunion, my favorite city, New York City. Everyone's coming out the trucks one by one, and as they're coming out, they all get their own personal quote that they said at the finale playing in the background until we get to Angie K. She gets a voiceover from Monica, and that is such a damn shame, Angie. The fact that you didn't say anything iconic at the finale in order for them to use for you in the background while you're getting out the truck, that they had to use Monica, like, come on now, like, step it up for next season if you come back. Then we see the cheap version of Cameron Diaz, Lucy Liu, and Drew Barrymore. We see Charlie's dusty-ass angels, Heather, Lisa, and Whitney. They're getting ready. They're hopping on the elevator to head to the set. Whitney, she tells them, do you guys want to maybe pray to Archangel before we go out there to the reunion? And, you know, Monica hurts all of our feelings and tears us up to pieces. They're like, yeah, let's do it. So they all grab hands like a bunch of witches. You know, Meredith was not here for this foolishness. She was like, no, I'm gonna meet you at the stage. So they start praying, and Whitney's like, dear Archangel, please go easy on us at this reunion. I don't want Monica to hurt my feelings, or my bestie Lisa, or Heather, my cousin, because I feel like we all need healing. And please don't allow Mary to call me a little girl. Amen. You know, Archangel was probably watching this like, now why am I in it? This is your problem. You're the one with the snowflake. I'm not even a cast member. Meanwhile, Meredith, she's already on stage. She's sitting down. Andy's there already, the host, of course. She's telling him, well, hello, Andrew. Nice to see you again. You know, I'm ready for this reunion. I came with the facts and I have my own receipts. So eventually, everybody else, they all get out there. They all take their seats. Heather, she wants to be fake humble, and she tells Andy, oh, wait. I didn't know I was in the hot seat. Yeah. You know, after the finale, you really think that you were going to be sitting at the end of the couch? Like, like, Heather, please. You know, deep down inside, she's like, yes, I'm the star of the show. So they take their seats, and I'm looking around like, wait a minute. There's a bad bitch missing. And then she shows up. Monica gets her own intro, right? She's coming down the stairs like a bad bitch, like a real bad bitch. Badder than me. She's coming down, and I'm kind of distracted because as I'm watching her, they're playing this dramatic music in the background. So I'm looking at it like, like, wait a minute, I kind of like the beat. So Monica, she comes out, and honestly, if I was Monica, I'll be going into this reunion thinking that it's my last reunion, so I'm just going all out, and I'm just disrespecting everybody, right? So she comes out, Whitney, here goes Whitney, pretending like she doesn't see her. She gets her phone out. Like, oh, they were so upset. And if I was Monica, I would have did such a slow, nasty walk in front of them, like, excuse me, can I just get there? Whitney, can I just get through you really? Oh, no, I'm not sitting there. I'm sitting the first chair. The first chair. Yeah, the first, right there next to Andy. Excuse me. Meredith, can you just move your legs, please? I need to get right there to the first chair. I would have been so petty. I would have snatched that damn phone from Whitney so quickly. Like, give me that damn phone. I'm here. Now what? But she takes her seat. And of course, we have to talk about the set, the seating placements, and the outfits. I always love that the reunions for the Salt Lake City reunions, they always incorporate snow in some capacity. I love it. This was no different, except I was kind of having like a hard time looking at what I was looking at. I'm like, okay, I see the snow, but then I see this giant ship. Like, what are we doing? It reminded me of the same feeling I get when I'm watching The Real Housewives of Potomac and they pan over to Giselle's house. You know, I'm looking at her house like, what is this? Like, what am I looking at? Like, it looks a mess. Same feeling with this set. I'm like, okay, there's a boat, there's snow, there's water. What is going on? This looks like a liability, right? Whitney, let's start off with the seating placement, right? She's at the very end of the couch on the left side. Do I agree? I actually don't. I feel like Whitney should have been sitting on the floor. You know, but yeah, I do agree. I mean, she didn't really do much. She was just kind of there. So I agree. As for her look, Whitney, what was going on? I feel like the concept for her dress was, she was at a New Year's Eve party, right? She was there, she was counting down, you know, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, Happy New Year's. And as soon as it struck midnight, everybody had those silly strings, right? They all pointed at Whitney and they all sprayed her with the silly string, and boom, that's how her dress was made. And she was like, ooh, this is cute. Let me just, put a couple of adjustments and let me just go to the reunion like this. As for her hair, same situation. She was at a New Year's Eve party. She had a hangover the next day. She was like, oh no, I need to get to the reunion. Like, it's today. What should I do? Oh, let me just do my hair into a ponytail and let me put on my little spaghetti dress and let me run out. And that was that. It was a cute color though, but then we have Meredith and she's sitting in between Whitney and Mother Monica. I agree with her seating placement. I don't think that there's anywhere else that she could have sat. As for her look, I thought it was pretty simple, but I like the red. I think she looks good. Also, did I miss the memo or something? Because why is everybody at this reunion looking like a basket of oranges? Like, it feels like I'm watching like a Trump family reunion. Like, why does everybody look like this? But then we head over to Mother Monica. She is the first chair. Mi gente latina. Like, I am so proud as a Colombian. Like, we see each other, right? I am so happy that she has the first chair on her first reunion. I just know that Heather and Lisa are sitting across from her with their nails gripping the seats like... But she looks so beautiful. I love this like turquoise, greenish blue color dress that she has on. It looks so beautiful. She's wearing her mother's high heels. They look nice. They look decent. Her hair looks beautiful. She just looks beautiful, right? Then we have Heather and she's the other first chair. And of course, after the finale, there was no other choice but to put her there. As for her look, it felt like Heather was waiting for somebody to come up to her and ask her to slow dance at prom. And she went into prom thinking that she was going to win prom queen. And then she lost. That's what this is giving me. On top of that, it doesn't make it any better that, she looks cute. But then she's sitting across from Monica. And Monica, cute next to gorgeous. Gorgeous is gonna, devour cute. So yeah, it was an okay look. I like the hair. Shout out to Tanisha, that snake. Then we move over to Lisa Barlow. Lisa, her reunion look, first of all, her seating placement, okay, I'll give her that. But, if you look at all of her reunion looks, all 4 of them, side by side, it's always the same silhouette, the same boring dead hair, the same high heels. It's always the same thing, the same pose. Like, everything is always very simple and basic with Lisa. Like, she likes to keep it very minimal. It's not a bad look. I like the dress, but then we move over to Angie K. She's at the very far end of the couch. Do I agree with that? I actually don't. I feel like she should also be sitting on the floor with Whitney. No, I'm just kidding. Don't kill me. Supposedly she's in the mafia, allegedly, but it was a pretty safe look. I do like the shoes, and she is beautiful. I wish that she would have showed up to the reunion wearing like these crazy looking goggles or glasses, because I'm pretty sure she sees what everybody says about her online, about wearing these crazy looking glasses every other episode. I wish she would have leaned into the joke and showed up with something like crazy, but it was a cute look. The best dress at the reunion would have to go to Monica. Monica, this being her first and possibly last reunion, I'm pretty impressed. She looks beautiful. I typically dress up for the reunions as one of the Housewives looks, but I didn't have time this time around, unfortunately, so I couldn't dress up for any of the reunion parts this season. But if I would have had to choose, I would have went with Meredith, Whitney, and Mary's looks as my review looks, but maybe next time. But so Andy starts it off by saying, so I feel like all of you haven't hung out together since we last filmed the finale, right? Monica was like, no, I feel like they've hung out together, but without me in the picture. So Andy was like, well, yeah, that's what I'm referring to. Already with the slick comments coming from Andy. Andy, no, that's not what you said to begin with. Don't get upset because somebody's correcting you. Oof, you're also angry at this reunion too? Yikes. But then he's like, so we obviously have to address Jen Shah, and it is crazy to me. I honestly feel like they'll never be able to not discuss Jen Shah on this show moving forward, whether it's season 5, 6, 7, whatever. We're just never going to stop talking about Jen Shah. She is always going to have some type of control over the show. He's like, so did anybody feel like, because of Jen being removed from the show, things were going to be different? Heather, she kind of broke the fourth wall a little bit. She was like, well, I don't know. I feel like Jen, she brought this level of toxicness. And I'm like, oh, so you admit that she's toxic. Interesting. But when she was on the show for the last 3 seasons, it was, oh, me and Jen are best friends. Jen is this, Jen is that. But now that she's not in the picture, Okay, I hope that Jen gets a chance to come back to the show and see if Heather still has that same energy now in front of Jen shot to her face. But, you know, time will tell. She's like, you know, I feel like the fans expected this type of level of toxicness on this show, this level of drama. And you're right, we do. That's why it's kind of like a double-edged sword, you know, with this season being so good and the finale being so good, they're at such a high that anything underneath that moving forward for season 5 is gonna look like a disappointment to all of us, or at least to the viewers. And that's what I'm scared of. Like, it may be a good season, but it's never gonna hold up to this because they just set the standard so high. Andy asked Monica about the Louis Vuitton bag that she brought to impress the group. And she was like, well, coming into this group, I came in as a whore. And I'm like, as a what? So now we're buying Louis Vuitton bags because we're whores now? Like, if that's the case, let me go buy 3 real quick. Like, that was a crazy way to start the statement, but she's shameless. And she was like, I came into this group as a whore and, you know, my marriage was broken. I had cheated on my husband and it was just too much. And I felt like I had to, you know, compensate for that. And I'm like, okay. Thank you for that, Monica. Thank you for the honesty, right? And then he was like, so why did the whole ring situation when Lisa, you know, lost her $60,000 ring, why did that trigger you so much? And she was like, well, you know, honestly, I just felt like Lisa was just throwing that in everybody's faces and it was just too much. And then Lisa, she starts getting all fake emotional, right? And she was like, my husband, John, gave me that ring because we almost lost our son. So it means a lot to me, Monica, but clearly you don't get it, do you, baby gorgeous? And I mean, it would have been nice to know that fact, Lisa, but all we heard you say was, oh, my ring is $60,000. It's $60,000. It's $60,000. So to us, we're looking at you like, oh, okay, I mean, that sucks, but... And yeah, Monica, she was being a hater by pointing you out. Like, yeah, it could be annoying you continue, you know, throwing out the price of the ring every 5 seconds. But is she always going to call somebody out in the group if, you know, because this whole group is supposed to be rich, right? Allegedly, they're supposed to be rich. And if she buys a new car, is Monica going to get upset and tell Meredith, hey, why are you bragging about your car? You know, or are you bragging about this necklace? Are you bragging about this outfit? Is it going to be a constant thing? So, I don't know. I just feel like the ring didn't mean a thing. Whoa, whoa, whoa. But okay, so they start getting into it. Monica was like, okay, I understand where you're coming from now. Oops, I'm sorry, I guess. And then I believe Angie K, she starts, you know, trying to make some slick comments towards Lisa, like, yeah, I don't really understand what her issue is with the ring. Like, let her, you know, have her moment. And Monica, why did she even open up her mouth? Because she heard that. She directed her attention from Lisa right over to Angie K. And she was like, listen, you bench warming bitch. I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. We're like, what? 5 minutes into the reunion and already we're calling each other whores and bitches? Like, wow, this is the direction that we're going in? I'm here for it. She was like, look, you bench warming bitch. You weren't even there for half the season. Like, you weren't even important. And I'm like, now, wait a minute, Monica. Wait a minute, Monica. Wait a minute, Monica. I know you're in the first chair, but let's not throw out lies, because if it wasn't for Angie K activating, you know, Meredith, you know, at the beginning of the season, we would have never gotten the iconic moment of the rumors as the husbands. So let's calm it down with that. And I'm just looking at Angie like, come on now, get up and fight back. Like, what are you doing? She basically says that you're a seat filler until Mary comes out next week. Like, wow, a bench warmer. If I was her, I would have told Andy, can we cut to commercial? I need to go to the bathroom, and then just cry myself in the stall. And then I believe she tries to fight back with Monica, and she was like, actually, I was here the entire season. I'm like, oh, Angie, at least she tries, right? She tries. They start talking about Monica's history with Jen and how she was her friend at first. Then she started working for her around the time that she was filming for season 1 of this show. Monica was unaware of that, according to her. She thought, well, me and Jen, we're close friends. She needs somebody to run errands for her. Let me just do it. But she was doing all of these things for Jen for free. For free, Monica, for free. And us knowing her financial status on the show from what she told us, you would think that she'll be a little bit smarter about this. Like, you're literally giving up your time to better somebody else's life for free? Like, no financial nothing? Like, just Jen Shah and vibes? Like, meanwhile, your daughters are probably looking at you like, hey, mom, can you help us out with math homework? Not now, honey. I need to help Jen Shah. Like, that is crazy. All of this for Jen Shah. And I do wonder if this is part of your plan of a bigger scheme that you and Todd set up to come at us with the bullshit. Let me butter up Jen and do all her stuff for free. That way she could look at me as a good friend and bring me onto the show as a friend of. I'll secure my spot for the following season as an actual housewife. By causing all this drama, I'm gonna prove to the producers that I'm worth it. They're gonna bring me on and me and Jen are gonna run the show. And then when you found out that she was a criminal, you thought, I could speed up the process and take her place. Let me call the feds. Let me put her in jail and be the informant. Oh, she's gone. Let me try to, contact the producers. Now I'm on the show. Am I giving her too much credit? Andy was like, so were you trying to get on the show in any way possible? But before that, Heather was like, oh, well, I actually have a recording here. She thought she was doing something by this. I have a recording right here, actually. Hold on. And then Monica was like, okay, play it. That's something I love about Monica. Monica, you could call her out on anything. She's not going to backtrack from it. She's like, yeah, I did it. What about it? But she plays the audio and she's like, give me 1 second. Hold on. Here we go.
Tom's house was broken into and he confronted the burglar and then had to go have eye surgery. And then my son had...
Wait. Hold on. Wrong audio. I meant to delete that 2 seasons ago. I'm like, Heather, what? It was basically her saying, oh, Kim Kardashian, she started off as a stylist or whatever to Paris Hilton, right? She was her, in her shadow. She was in her shadow and that's going to be me and I'm going to be a superstar, basically alluding that, this is her way to climb up the rank, I guess, with Jen Shah. And Andy called her out and was like, okay, so what does this mean? I know Heather was sitting there looking stupid, like, huh? Like, what do you mean? I thought you understood. But eventually... we go back to the conversation, like, were you trying to get onto the show? And I mean, at this point, anybody who comes on the show is trying to get onto the show for either money, exposure, or fame. There is no denying it. It's just Monica is more out there with it. And she tells Andy, but she was too out there with it because she tells Andy, well, I mean, yeah, I wanted to apply to get on the show. I applied like everybody else, because I just thought, the show sucked. The ratings were terrible. The show's going to get canceled. So they need somebody to, spice things up. And I'm like, no, you did not say that to Andy's face. Andy was sitting there with his note cards like, I feel like that is kind of like her nail in the coffin. And I just don't think that we'll see Monica back. It'll be a horrible decision. But I just don't see Bravo bringing Monica back. Like, I just don't see it, especially after that comment. Like, even Whitney was there with her spaghetti dress, like, is this bitch serious? And then Angie K. Oh, Angie K. She starts whispering to Lisa, well, I was referenced. Saying that somebody referred her to the show. Well, clearly that person didn't have good taste because it took you how long to get onto the show and you still didn't make the cut? So that's nothing to be proud of, Angie K. But I mean, I like you now though, but according to Monica, she emailed production like, hey, your show's about to get canceled. It has terrible ratings. Put me on the show. But then Bravo, they had their own receipts because they put the email that she actually sent and it didn't say any of that. It said, hey, I want to know what's the next couple of steps to get onto the show. I feel like the show needs a spicy Latina who got excommunicated. And I'm like, spicy Latina? What kind of porn category? Like, that shit sounds crazy, Monica. Spicy Latina. I cannot believe that, spicy Latina. That shit sounds insane to me. And then in the email, it's like, yeah, you need somebody like me, let me know. But, I mean, clearly they were into it because they put her on the show. So regardless whether she said this, that, and the third, in the email, they actually, they put this feisty Latina on the show. They discussed the issues that Meredith has had this season, and Andy asked her, so where do you stand with Lisa today? She was like, well, I mean, between me and Lisa, as of today, everything is good. Yeah, me and Lisa, we've had some ups and downs between us in our relationship. But, it's typical, for friends to fight. As long as nobody comes at me or pokes at me, everything is okay. I do not want to disengage moving forward, but I will if I have to. And, I will give Meredith that because Meredith, she does stay to herself until somebody, Angie K specifically, pokes at her. Then she explodes. She becomes the queen of England. She becomes somebody else. And then she wants to threaten people with whatever information or rumor she knows about you. But until then, she keeps it, light with everybody. So that was that. They start talking about Lisa and Whitney. They get into it. And we see a little scene that we didn't see earlier this episode, this season, when Whitney's friend passed away and Whitney was going through it. Lisa, she looked like a self-absorbed asshole, and she is, but but in this scene specifically, it showed Lisa going up to Whitney and asking her, hey, are you feeling okay? How are you feeling? What's going on? But in the episode that we saw when the whole thing played out, we didn't see that scene. So yikes, they painted out Lisa to look even worse. But they started getting into it with that. Whitney, she was like, well, I just feel that Lisa, she's very, very unaware of a lot of things. And she's just very, just about herself and stuff. And I'm like, Whitney, not the person that you were so up her ass the entire season. Not you coming for her all of a sudden. Lisa was like, first of all, Whitney, what are you talking about? No, I'm not all about myself. I can talk about other things, baby gorgeous. What are you talking about? Lisa, no, because even in that whole conversation that they were having, Lisa is only about Lisa. We'll just leave it at that. And I feel like this whole situation between them is gonna shift into next season. And I feel like they're gonna have issues on season 5, but we'll see what happens. So they start talking about, how Whitney, what's her name? Justin took off his ring or whatever. She says that it was because he gained weight and that, it was uncomfortable for him. All right, Whitney. All right. I mean, I guess, we'll go with that. But I wish that he would have asked Whitney, so you said that you weren't sure if you wanted to be monogamous or if you wanted to be just faithful to one person, that you don't think that humans are like that. Can you explain that? But he didn't even ask her that. And I wish that the husbands, I mean, I'm not sure, but I wish that the husbands will come out and sit in back of the wives, because I don't think that we've seen that on the Housewives in a while. Like, what about the husbands? I want to know their opinions on things too in their marriage, but I still say that Whitney will eventually leave Justin in the future. But she was like, no, he wears his ring on his finger. I mean, on his necklace, blah, blah, blah. They started talking about Sean, Angie K's husband, and, these gay rumors that Monica has brought up. What's her name? Angie K, she went on this long rant about something. And I was Monica. Monica was looking at her like, can we get to the point? Like, I like Angie K, but her issue is that she doesn't get to the point. Like, she's saying a whole sentence and it's just going slow. She was like, well, I feel like those rumors about Sean were very damaging about Sean, because just because he has nice legs and he's a hairstylist, people thought that he was gay, and that's wrong. And I'm like, can we speed it up? Like, come on, Angie K. Like, work with that for next season. And then I believe Whitney was like, well, I mean, yeah, I heard about the rumor, but I didn't bring it up on camera. But I feel like Whitney didn't know. She was just trying to put it on Monica. Monica was like, yeah, I own up to it. It was me. So what about it? Oops, I said it. So then I believe Meredith, she also talked about it too, because Andy was like, about this nastiness and rumors, and it's not cute when Andy does it. It's cute when anybody else does it, but when he tries to mimic her voice, cut it out, Andy. Stick to Andy Cohen. But, Meredith was like, well, I mean, no, it's not necessarily talking about her husband. I wasn't saying any gay rumors about him or their marriage. I was never talking about that. And I mean, potato, right? Because yeah, she technically was talking about her husband, not her marriage. But to me, it's all the same shit. What does everybody else think? Do you think that Meredith was full of it? I feel like she was full of it, because then she turns it on Angie K and she was like, the fact that you put out these rumors that I spread my legs to strangers, that's disrespectful to women. Like, why would you weaponize that against people who have issues in their relationship? Well, why would you do the same thing to her? You're not squeaky clean either, Meredith. So eventually, Monica and Angie K, they continue going at it, because she called her a rat. Monica was like, Angie K, please, you're now just getting on the show. Now you're finally doing something after 4 years. You haven't been relevant on the show. Andy tried to call out Monica, and he tries to, back up Angie. Well, you did the same thing. Monica corrected him and was like, no, I didn't apply to be on the show for 4 years. I tried my first time and got on, so get out of my face. Andy, stop. So then Angie K, Angie K became Angie F-U. Because all of a sudden we get a different side of her. I forgot what set it off. And, I don't know. She was talking about her husband or whatever. And Angie K was like, first of all, don't talk to me like that, you bitch. I'm not you. I've been relevant. I've been on this show. I am what did she say? She said that she was the pillar of her city, Salt Lake City. That's a very small pillar, but you know, she was like, the pillar of my city. So don't you talk to me like that, bitch. You're the one spending your kids' money on bags that you can't afford. And you also have your Range Rover underneath a carport, bitch. So you don't tell me what I can or can't do. And I'm like, wow, Monica, get up. I'm like, wow, Angie K, this is what you had inside you? Like, wow, I am very impressed because, whoo, she talked about her kids. I mean, to me, she talked about her kids. And at that point, the rules are out the window and it's just blow for blow at that point. You know, it's just low blow for blow blow. And Monica, that's when she got upset because, you know, you don't talk about her kids, right? And she was like, bitch, don't talk about my kids like that. Don't bring up my kids like that. And at that point, Monica, I mean, if she wants to bring that up, then you could bring up her kid too. You could bring up her dog too. The little pink poodle, bring that up too. Bring up Sean, say, you know what? At least I'm not with a man who's afraid to sleep with me. That's what she could have said. But, you know, Monica has held her crown this entire season, but Angie K, she kind of shook it a little bit. And then on top of that, I had to Google what a carport was because Range Rover, obviously that's an expensive car, right? But then to put it underneath a carport is basically calling Monica poor. So Monica, get up. But Angie K, you know, I'll give you that one. You know, you waited, what, until like the last 10 seconds of the whole hour for you to finally make your presence known, but you made it known. But I thought it was a good way to start the reunion, and I'm curious to see how things play out on part 2 and part 3. And Mary's coming out next week, so I'm curious to see that. But let me know what you all thought about this whole first part of the reunion. Who do you think is the best dressed? Who do you think is the worst dressed? I'm still stuck on that email that Monica sent the producers. A feisty, spicy Latina. Like, Monica, what? But, you know, anyways, let me know what you all thought about this whole first part down in the comments. Bye, everybody. Mwah.